Hey y'all, this is Alisha Costanzo and welcome back to my channel. I am a reader, writer, and editor. I do all the things. And this is going to be a 2-week vlog. So we'll catch up here at the end and I'll do some wrapping up. Well, let's just get into it. Hey guys, so sorry, I got my mouth guard in. I'm about to take my contacts out and go to bed. However, I wanted to update you. It was past midnight in New York because I am at my mom's house. I brought my son to drop him off to help them out because Danny's having surgery. So he's my stepdad. And my mom needs some support and my stepdad needs some support too during his back surgery. So we are here. We arrived yesterday at midnight, or this morning at midnight. Went to bed at 2. My alarm went off at 7. Woke up everybody in the house. I peed. I didn't see anyone. I came back to bed for an hour. But we've had a busy day. Tried to go to 2 stores. Only one of them was successful. First, some medication. The boy went driving with my mom. I went for a walk and listened to... What am I listening to? The Empire of the Vampire. We're about 30% of the way through that. It's up and down with my ability to pay attention to it. It is a 27-hour book, so I'm almost 8 hours into it. And came home, showered, ate some food. What did we do after that? Oh, we went to Mom's best friend's birthday party to hand over some gifts, and I felt really terrible because stoned me. One could not remember all of her kids' names. Could not really function in this social setting where they're all asking me pointed questions and using my name and remembering me, and I'm like, I don't remember any. I mean, I remember them from childhood because I used to draw with Ariane, I think is her name. I don't know anything about their lives other than a couple of them are waiters and they all are married with kids. So anyways, we went to Red Lobster after that with the whole family, which was fun and dramatic because 13-year-old girls are dramatic. And then we went back to my brother/dad's house, watched a comedy special, had fun. Went to go eat ice cream with my mom and my stepdad and my dad, and the boy and me, of course, which we had the 2-berry twist, which is like an oh my god thing you have to get in Syracuse because like we're famous for that. Well, we're not famous for it, but we should be. We have a lot of food things that are really important to our city. It's one of them, the 2-berry twist or the double-berry twist. Either way you want to call it. Used to be Hafner's, no longer Hafner's. After that, we came back and I got my son to actually watch Bosch, which him and his father do not like cop shows. Me and my father love cop shows. My mom's pretty into them too. I think my stepdad's into them. Watch a lot of NCIS, Criminal Minds, SWAT, Rookie, Seen a Thing. Anyways, he liked Bosch because of the Bosch character is an amazing character. So, you know, there's that. And I think my dad left around 10 p.m. and so I sat and edited for the last hour and a half because I needed to do it. So, yeah. And, oh, we also had cake, which was good too. Yeah. had crab legs, by the way. Favorite. Anyways, I edited, called my husband, just hugged the boy goodnight. The parents have been in bed for a good hour. And now it's time for me to go to bed and do this all over again tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna edit early and then go shopping with mom because she's got PT early. And then I might take the boy for a walk down the street to the Burn Dairy, which is another important thing that we have in Syracuse. It's not just a Syracuse thing, but Burn Dairy is really big here. We have one in like every corner. It's ridiculous. It's like Starbucks, almost. Dunkin' Donuts is more like Starbucks here too. So, I'm tired. I'm babbling. It's time to go to bed. And it is cold as shit in this house. Alright. Anyways, love you nerds. Going to bed. See you in the morning. Alright guys, so it's been 2 weeks and I'm going to try to wrap up some of my reading that I've done in the last 2 weeks. So while I was in New York, I tried to read The Empire of the Vampire, and I was struggling with it. And I think that's same thing happened to me on the way to New York that happened on the way back. In the second flight, I kind of fell asleep listening to books, and that I don't think that really had much to do with the book per se, but the being tired on a plane, on a moving plane, is just like jostling, and which is weird because I'm scared of planes. But I fell asleep both times, so I had to rewind in The Empire of the Vampire and start again. And then there was a lot of, I don't know, a lot of world building stuff that I generally just don't like. Just like too much of it, I guess. Too much lore and background and all of the things that make it kind of epic-y. And J. Kristoff before didn't have a lot of that issues with me in Nevernight. Like, it was just violent and I liked it and we were good. This one is a little bit more backstory. So, and I did a lot of like vampire reading these 2 weeks. So, because he's like half vampire, half human. And then I was reading Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, which I'm almost done with. I lost my loan and I just got, like, I was 90% when I lost my loan. And I'm just going to finish reading it probably today. So I'll be back to let you know how I feel about that one. But, you know, vampires, Atlantis, lots of fun romantic things in that one. Which, by the way, the first half of it really intrigued me. And the second half of it I felt like is getting really repetitive. And she has a lot of the same words over and over again in a single scene. And that really bothers me as an editor, and I don't know if I'm noticing it more because I'm actually reading it this time versus listening to it. But I felt like it could have been edited better. We'll see how I feel when we get to the end. There's a lot of cool things that happened. I really hated the horse scene, aka him teaching her how to ride. I don't think we needed all of that info dumpy conversation and the blah. We could have had, they had plenty of connections before. I understand the wanting to slow the pace down a little bit. I like that he trained her how to use the horses. I don't think we needed a whole scene to do it. Which is sad because I really love the first book and this book's just not as good as the first one. So more vampires. Then I read Ender's Game, which was for a challenge, so I'm not going to give you too many of my feelings about it, but I was reading that one on the plane and fell asleep and rewound and stuff, and I really, really liked Ender's Game. Of the three that my husband suggested to me, probably my favorite, probably because it's so much like the character is so much him. And I see exactly why he connected with this story. And I connected it with it because of my connection to him. I probably wouldn't have liked it as much if I didn't know my husband so well and see the connections between the character and him. So, there's that. I won't go into too many details. Watch the other vlog for that. And the challenge vlog. So, you know, space war stuff. And then I just read Halfway to the Grave, which is a half vampire, half human main character who is hunting vampires. Which is what The Empire of the Vampire is as well, which is super weird and really funny. But she's kind of naive. I felt like the romance was a little rushed at first, but by the time I got to the end of it, I understood why the story did that, although I think they still could have, I don't know, depends on what else happens in the series, but I feel like they could have drawn that out a little bit longer. Yeah. So there's the 4 that I read. I've also been editing a lot. I had 4 projects. I went down to 3. I'm almost done with one of the 3. The ongoing project will begin again on Monday, which will be a lot easier to do 5 chapters a week than it was to do the 15 in the 1 week. So that kind of killed me while I was in New York, sitting, you know, starting before dinner, so around 4, then making dinner, and then finishing editing by midnight, only getting 3 chapters done a day, and practically rewriting this stuff. Can't tell you anything more than that, because confidentiality shit, but there you go. I also have the 2 nonfiction projects that I'm working on. I should finish the one today, and then the other one I need to check in and see how they're doing, because they're still only halfway written, and it should have been finished by now for me to edit, so I will check in on that, and I should have a few more filtering in and stuff. So it's good to have editing work again. My stepdad's still in the hospital. I don't know if he's getting better. His back is healing nicely, which is why I went up to New York to help him, because he had back surgery, and then he went back to the hospital for a fever and has sepsis and a blockage in his gallbladder, and he's swelling and retaining water, and I'm worried about him. So yeah, you see why I haven't been here chit-chatting with you guys. I am both happy to be home and really sad to be gone, but I don't know. On that happy note, I'm gonna go to work. Alright, y'all, so I'm gonna wrap things up really quickly. I should probably turn on the music. Here we go. So I don't have all of my regular like wrap-up stats, and I just don't feel up to doing that right now, so I'm gonna do a really quick wrap-up of these last 2 weeks. I left Saturday. I spent a week and a half in New York. A lot of that was working and taking care of my stepdad. I did get to visit a little bit. I didn't get to visit as much as I'm sure everybody wanted to because, well, I wasn't there to visit. I brought my son home with me. Did not end up leaving him in New York, but I read some books, as you guys have seen. I did very little writing this last week. I did a little bit after I got home on Wednesday. Probably maybe 1,000 words worth. I did get to see Betty Ann on Friday. I did not film it. Sorry, guys. But yeah, lots of editing. Lots of doing other things and traveling and whatnot. I did, however, have a really good sales week, which was fantastic, which was last week. I don't know how my sales were the week before. I didn't really look. But I sold 17 books alone on iBooks and then a scattering of a few others. But it was really fun because it was like the first 2 books of my series, and one day sold a couple of them, and then the second 2 books, and then the third set of books in a span of like 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, somebody's reading my series! Tell your friends! But that is just really exciting to know and watch kind of live that somebody's reading my things. And then I got home and I got to see one of my coworkers, Shauna, and she's like, I'm on book 7. I just finished Midnight, which is actually the one I just finished publishing, which is great. And she's like, oh my god, she's like freaking out. We don't really have time to talk about it. And she's telling everybody else, I'm like, you have to read these so we can talk about it. So she's going to tell me when she finishes number 13 before she gets to 14, because she's on my beta document, that which one she wants to win Winter's heart by the end of it before she reads the last book to figure out who actually wins her heart. I do kind of want to know before she makes the decision. So there's like 3 sections of the last book where it's coming home, going to meet her men again, and then coming home and making her decision. So before we get to that last section, I really want to know how she feels too, because a lot of things kind of develop in the last book between her and some of the men that aren't as evident in their cycles. So just bunches of excitement in that regard. I'm forgiving myself all the goals I didn't get to these last couple weeks, because I mean, really, family's way more important than me trying to post on Instagram. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end this here, because this just needs to be over, and we need to move on to other things, because that was a heck of a lot of stuff. And when I hear how my stepdad is doing, I will let you guys know. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know how you guys are doing, what you've been reading, what you've been writing, what you've been working on. If you've been doing anything else fun. Are you having a hard time too? Just know that it is okay. Routines can get disrupted and life will go on. Okay? Things will get better. All right. Thanks y'all for being here. Bye.